This video is whether or not the airline industry in the U.S. can sustain a new regulatory hurdle that is being proposed, and that is the Environmental Protection Agency. The EPA is proposing that the federal government should regulate the greenhouse gas emissions that come from flights in the U.S. And I think this is interesting. I think that I'm just going to approach this question, this topic, from the perspective of can airliners handle the new regulatory compliance costs and the cost of potentially retrofitting their existing airplanes with new fuel saving or emission reducing technology and parts, and whether they can afford to build those into their new airplanes. I understand that a lot of airlines bought many dozens of Boeing 787 Dreamliners starting several years ago, and those are just finally starting to be shipped now. So I wonder if it's even feasible to change the orders for the 787s to add new emission reducing technology. But anyway, I'm just curious to tackle this question from the perspective of, are airlines financially in a position to be able to deal with this potential hurdle of the EPA regulating greenhouse gas emissions, given that the recent decline over the last few months of oil prices, the airliners have not used that money to reduce airfares. They've kept them the same, and instead they've used it to pay off some of the debt, because I guess the airline industry has a lot of debt. And then in addition to that, it was also proposed, I guess a week or two ago, by the International Air Transport Association that the carry-on bag size should be smaller. They should standardize it and make it smaller. And I guess that's presumably to save fuel costs and cut down the weight on the bags, and to make each passenger, between the passenger and their luggage, weigh less, so that they don't have to burn as much fuel per flight. So those are all cost-saving measures, and so that makes me wonder if additional cost imposed on them by the EPA would be something that airliners would be able to sustain. Excuse me. So I'm sure they would be able to, they'd still be able to stay in business, but they'd have to raise tickets or something. So that's an interesting question. So I look forward to seeing more news and developments around that subject.